Hello, welcome to yet another video. Today we're going to talk about some very interesting company listed in India market called JB Chemicals. Before I go into deep dive of that company, we're going to cover everything fundamental, what the company's latest Q3 numbers are, and also we're going to discuss about the company growth potential and recent acquisition. And we're going to also look at the charts and see how does it look like on the chart as well at the end. And I'll tell you some of the key levels at the end of the video where I'm tracking of this company. But before we move forward, if you're new to my channel or you haven't subscribed to my channel, I will request you to subscribe, because in this channel I keep bringing up videos associated with investing, uh, how to improvise in your investing journey, and also talk about some fundamentals, technical analysis of stock market in various other countries other than India, whether it's the US, Australia. So you're definitely going to get a lot of value in terms of subscribing and getting notified when I come up with the new videos. And if you have not watched my last video where I discuss about a company which has been doing fantastically well, do watch that, and you can see various playlists here which are there. This is a video which I posted yesterday on Ambika Cotton and RHI Magnesia, and so you can watch that. Definitely you will be able to get some insights there as well. So let's get started. So let's start about the JB Chemicals. JB Chemicals as a company, let's go quickly what exactly the company does. Now, company is a pharmaceutical company, has a very good diversified portfolio, and it is, I would call this as a branded play per se in the pharmaceutical industry. It's not a kind of typical, because every pharma industry listed in India market, you have to look at it separately. This company has been super wealth creation has done in the past. And just to disclosure and disclaimer, I've been holding it from very, very long time. I've been tracking this company, and it has been a multi-bagger for me. But I think I see going forward it has a huge potential, and I'll tell you why. Look at, let's first of all, they are into therapies. And what does therapy means? Therapies personally means in terms of gastro related work, right? So if you see all these brands of this company, right, this the brands of these companies are really really popular, not only in India but also across um, the different markets. So if you look at, these are some of the anti-infective, wound care, um, nano and pediatrics work, uh, gynecology, dental, vitamins, hypertension, diabetes. Some of them are really, really, and especially on the hypertension. I know this because I was, when I was a child, we used to have the medical stores, so I know a bit of about it. But you look at some Silacar and all that are really, really well, popular hypertension. And as you know, with the new trend, most of the Indians and across the globe where people are, the rate at which diabetes and hypertension is growing. So these are something which are kind of therapeutic medicines which you have to continue taking on. Nephrology, respiratory, pain, analgesic, dermatology, antiviral lozenges. So they are also contract manufacturer of white label lozenges as well. So these are some of their therapies. And if you look at lozenges, which is another one where they do that, and as part of lozenges or API manufacturing, or you're looking at so this science part of it is where basically they do kind of stuff. Let me show you the 1 minute. Yeah, so they do kind of all the white labeling of the lozenges with different shapes, with different flavors, and they do a white labeling uh, of medicated and soft center. So these kind of herbal, medicated, center filled soft lozenges, and so on and so forth. Likewise, they have different API lists like diclofenac. They are one of the leaders in the market. Diclofenac, which is a um, uh, painkiller, and which definitely is very very popular salt for that. So they are kind of having different APIs here. And they also are, I'm not sure whether you're familiar with the radio diagnostics. So they are top three leading companies in contrast media in India. What does it contrast media does? I think this is kind of a liquid which gets injected when you're doing an X-ray or some kind of scan. You inject that to be able to see that clearly in case of any difference. So they have X-ray contrast agents. So they are one of the leaders, top three leaders in that. So yeah, with that, these are some of the details of the company. And one of the international portfolios are they have been supplying across different geographies. I can see from Afghanistan, Algeria, Bahrain, Cambodia. So they're not just concentrated in typically Cuba, Cambodia, and around 40, 50 countries. They are kind of here, really Ethiopia. So they've given the whole list of here. You can go through that. I will not go into the details. So you can actually go by therapeutic, generic name, brand name. So they have different branded products in that same, right, which I showed you. Now let's go into quickly what they have released as part of Q3 and financial results, and we'll also go about some of the key things here. I will quickly go through some of the key things here, and I will leave the link below. You can go through in detail about this company. So, as I said, 45 years in operation, which is by any stretch of imagination, is definitely time tested company. They're into 40 plus regulatory semi-regulatory markets, so they have 40 plus countries. They have 21% growth in chronic therapies, seven multi-dose formulations, five of their brands are top 300 brands, contributing 70% of domestic formulation. Top five global manufacturer of medicated herbal lozenges, so they are kind of, as you just showed it, they make these white label lozenges. 2100 strong field force therapy force, which are basically are their medical representatives, which they're working from them, and their ROC is 42%. Strong cap position. This is a debt-free company, and the ROC is calculated here. So it's EBIT divided by net worth plus debt minus mutual fund investments. So with that, let's move to some of the key things. So these are some of the snapshots which you will tell you how strong this company is. There have been revenue, PAT, EBITDA margin, all are growing up in a very healthy pace, and their ROE and ROC is also double digit and expansion growing. And especially this is amazing. 42% of ROC is really very rare companies have that. Hence, you know why this company has been a wealth generator, and you can see their business-wise revenue breakdown. So this is their contract manufacturing, the biggest blue, which is domestic formulation. So they're quite heavy on domestic side, which is so that means they're not too much in terms of their revenue coming in is from export, and it's kind of mix. So 817 crores comes from export, 892 comes from domestic, and as you so India is such a big market, and having that presence itself is a it's definitely, you can see they will have a good growth coming forward. And I'll tell you what they have done recently in terms of acquisition. Now, contract manufacturing, as I said, they do a lot of API and licenses as contract manufacturing, so that's around 224 crores, and then some API and others. And this was for 9 months, and this is what for FY21, and this is FY22. So they've already um, gone ahead in terms of their domestic 887, and obviously from the international market they're still 1 quarter away, so that's great. So they're actually doing very well. Let's move on to some other things. So I think this is definitely tells you where their growths are coming. They're in leadership positions in 30% plus market share, which is definitely uh, tells you that how strong this company is. What I want to, I want to spend some time on this slide and just to give you some perspective of what has you see international formation in Russia, South Africa, United States, and rest of the world, which is around 40 plus emerging countries, they're part of it. So when others are concentrating in US, this company was focusing on Russia and South Africa, so that and building their strong sales force. 80 plus sales force are in Russia, building the relationship, pharmacy relationship, and also direct relationship. And whereas there are 30 plus strong force in the South Africa, so which is fantastic in terms of area where they're focusing on API and contract manufacturing is another one. So let's keep going on this one. So I wanted to cover some few more times. They have got 40 plus regulatory accreditations. They have 7, 8 state of art manufacturing. So getting a sense of what this company is doing, and their Nikhil Chopra, CEO and whole time director, they say there's a huge opportunity uh, in terms of uh, in terms of the brand, which they have recently acquired a company called, and you must have also heard about it, Sanzyme, Sanzyme, and this is basically making a big probiotic called company, and I will talk about that, what the product is all about. Spirulac, I'm sure you must have heard about this Spirulac, and if you have already come across that, and I think as a kid I remember that having this. This is a very common probiotic medicine which was sold off the counter as well, or on the during the times in chemist shop. So this is their financial overview, which will cover in screener and embed. So I will not spend too much time here. The patch and this, what is important here is I'm just going to cover domestic margin. So you can go through those details and I will talk about that. But what is important is to cover this slide, which I think is gives you a perspective in terms of where they stand. So JB Chemical is the fastest growing company for the years 2021 among top 30 pharma companies. Now, their valuation as of now is 1269 crores and the growth is 27%. And if you see, some of them are Alchem, Glenmark, Dr. Reddy, they never have Macleod, Mankind, Ajanta Pharma. All of them are like kind of have not having that growth. So which itself tells you where some of the products are really doing well and the strategies are working well. And this is what I think could be a game changer in my view, is the acquisition of brand of Senzyme Private Limited. They've given a very good thesis about this, why they've acquired it. So main brand, uh, which is what they're getting, is Sporlac, which is one of the probiotic brands, leading brands in country, and launched in 1973. Even today, it's remain one of the most trusted brand and segment, which I mentioned to you. Another one is Loban, which is a multi-strain probiotic blend, which is used to delay progression of chronic kidney disease. So, in terms of somebody has a kidney problem, so they will be given this regularly, and this is continuously given as part of the nephrologist treatment. And Sanzyme also has a comprehensive range of products across all phases of female reproductive health cycle and most common male reproductive issues. As you know, with all the stress around it, and with a lot of couples are working towards in terms of having, in terms of any challenges in terms of their kids. So this is something one of them are provided as part of the treatment, and they have a good distribution network, and estimated revenue is 135 crores which will come in. But I think it's very important is in gross margin 70%, which is really great, and sustainable EBITDA margin which will come in 45 to 50 crores. But I think my opinion is coming with the JB brand with a huge distribution network within India, so they'll be able to have more penetration across different geography, and that's where I think this is going to be game changer. And I mentioned to you because a lot of couples are going with this IVF treatment, and this entry also helps them in this probiotic player, and this is kind of an therapeutic treatment for that. So I just want to give you a sense of it because you have to keep track of companies which are really, really powerful companies and can be a multi-bagger from here. And this company you should keep an eye on and keep in track because anytime when there is a market correction, such as strong companies like this, where you are having brands like Sporlac and some of the brands which are like therapeutic in nature, which you don't see a demand substantially reducing. Obviously, there'll be a risk because if there's other player comes in, you will have that risk. But I think what is happening is this company is moving from contract manufacturing or a no brand to brand company, and that is what is a changing face of this company. So keep a watch on this company, and it was established in 1976, so it's a quite an old company, established company. So with that, let's go to some of their financials. Okay, so if we go to screener.com, what is very important is this company has no debt. So ROE is 24 current price, so they don't have any debt whatsoever, which I will tell you. And the market cap is 13,000 crore. Their market cap is 13,000 crore, and their ROC is 32%, 32.8%, which is phenomenal by any stretch of imagination. Now comes in their, if I look at it, their graph, I told you it was a wealth generation. And that's where the magic comes in. When you see such a strong company, and there we comes in from the matter of 400 to almost, it had a bit of double top in around 2000, and now it's kind of going sideways. But what is important is this company was available sub 200 and the 400 band for most part of their listing listing career in terms of it, and suddenly there was a huge growth which is seen because they kind of went into, when everybody was focusing on US generic market, their strategy they changed into different continents, which is like 40 other countries, emerging countries, and Russia and other places, and that's where they really had their edge, and they became completely debt free company. Promoter holding has dropped a bit, but nothing to worry about it. I don't see that as a concern at this point because there might be many reasons why promoter has reduced the stake. But I'll talk about that. Look at the quarterly numbers now. The sales has been growing, right? So this is absolutely growing, and even in the during the COVID times, there has been a little bit dip, but I don't see there has been any major dent from them, and expenses are also going as per their operating margins are pretty healthy, which is around 21%, and then the profit numbers also pretty decent, and the EPSs are also from 5.82, now they're sitting at almost double EPS. Let's look at the profit and loss. So the what is important is when you look at the yearly number, then you get a better picture because that removes the seasonality. Is the EPS from 2010, which was 14.08, today sitting at 51.91, and this is trailing 12 months. So if you look at 57, huge jump, and that explains you that earning per share has increased drastically, and that's so that you have the growth in the price. As I say, in long run, it is all about earning, right? So, as Mr. Warren Buffett always says, in short run, the stock market is or the companies are like a voting machine. Everybody is voting on for a day, week, or month, but in long run, it's a weighing machine, and this is the weight of which you see the prices increasing and you see exponential growth, and this is where the 3 years it has been phenomenal, which is that's where you got 56% in 3 years. That tells you why the company has given a multi-bagger return from 400 to 2000 is because last 3 years they had exponential growth. Okay, so I hope this you are able to get value out of this. If you are enjoying it and you're liking content, do give a thumbs up, and that way you will be able to, get notified whenever I come up with these new videos. Thank you. So let's keep going on this. So cash flows, again, they have been having some in terms of, I think they're doing in dividend payouts, and also they had some. Uh, so they actually bought the company, so obviously they would have used that. So repayment of borrowing, so there is no borrowing at all, and interest, there's hardly, minimum interest rate, maybe working capital, but that's about it, and that's their dividend payout. So net cash flow is negative because they have done a recent acquisition, and they paid out for that, which is, I think, shown here, 161 and 131. I think these are two of their. And let's move on. The ratios, debtor days are also consistent, which is sitting on 70 days from 170. Oops, that's sorry. This is sometimes great. So from 170 days, they've reduced to 70 days, which is kind of consistent for last couple of years, 68, 71, 70, which is good. That means they're able to recover their money in from their product sales quickly, and ROC is also has had exponential 33% now. Last bit in terms of the shareholding pattern. So as I told you about it, that there is slight dip in terms of the shareholding pattern for the promoters, but that nothing to worry because it's 1% or almost 2% the drop. But that probably could be because they might have the need of money in terms of it, so we shouldn't be worrying too much about that. What is important here to note is FIs have increased the stake, and especially some of the government so government pension fund has recently increased the stake. There is a stake which has been added by Nippon Life in a domestic one, India Multicap Fund, and also you can see there's some stake which is increased by Invesco India Contra Fund as well. So there is a good bit of addition by domestic as well as from the FIS. So this is it, and I think recently there was a rating update as well based on acquisition. I just want to cover that quickly, what the rating crystal is talking about. Let me make it big. So what says that, so as you can see here, so it says that this is it includes a brand like Sporlac, which I talked about, Lovan and others, and the acquisition is of 628 crores. Aqua brand will fit well with JB Chemicals' overall strategy of building diversified pharmaceutical business in India, comprising of high quality brands. Post this transaction, JB Chemicals will have presence in a high growth probiotic segment, and it will scale up its institutionalized brands within India. And transaction is expected to strengthen JB's business rates profile and product diversity within India with sustainable, healthy financial risk profile. So even from their point of view, they think that this is value accretive, and which is, I think, great for a company going forward. So let's quickly look at the our technical charts, okay, because that's important to us to know what exactly company is doing from the technical chart point of view. So let's remove all the drawings here so we can just look at a price chart. So let's start with the monthly one. As I mentioned to you, ever since it has given a breakout of 400 rupees, and that's the time if you've entered, it has made a nice basing here, and then it just never went back. It just straight away went up with a little bit consolidation here, but after that it's just one way rally for this stock. And I was able to manage my most return here around 600, so that's where I'm holding up. But again, because it's kind of creating a flag pattern, I think it's consolidation sideways and it's looking at it could be a next leg of rally which can start based on what outcome comes in after the acquisition, because the that's where I think now the next leg of growth of rally will be there. So what I am looking at is, if I go back on weekly chart, will tell you this. This seems to be a strong demand zone, and again, this is area right now, which is where it's consolidating for last couple of weeks, and we have to see how it fares well. I think going forward, as long as hold this number, I think it's a great time to start accumulating few stocks. That's what I'm looking forward to. And with this uh, key level on weekly closing basis, one can look at this company for the next leg of growth. So that's my view on that. And if you are having a different view, do put in the comment box below. And if you have any key takeaways, put in the comment box below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do subscribe, because I keep coming out with some more videos every day in terms of giving you all the details associated with investing, making you a profitable investors, and trying to make your investing journey simple and easy in a peaceful way. Hence, you have to subscribe to Peaceful Weekend Investing channel. Till next video, this is Shivendra Bhatia here signing off, and I will see you again. Happy investing.